Hi everybody. Well, it's the last day of April, before we get to May, and we're gonna continue talking about the six kingdoms. We started the other day with kingdoms Eubacteria and Archaebacteria and learned more about the organisms that are in those two kingdoms. For the most part, they're gonna be unicellular and prokaryotic. But some of them in both kingdoms can make their own food, but then some can't. Um, Moving forward into the Protista Kingdom, this is going to be the only one we focus on today. So after today, we'll be halfway through the kingdoms. Protists cannot be classified as animal, plant, or fungus. They're just like the oddballs, really. They're eukaryotic cells. They're going to be unicellular, but they're made of one cell. But that one cell does have a nucleus. They're both autotrophic and heterotrophic, can make their own food, and some cannot. Some examples, if you look at A here, it is a slime mold. Like, not what you make, what's out in nature. Kind of gross. Protozoa is going to be at B, and then primitive algae. So, algae. So, that's all gross stuff. I keep going to Brain Pop because they have a lot of really good videos for the Six Kingdoms, to be honest. And you're going to watch a video right now that's on protists and more about that type of stuff in that kingdom that I think you'll kind of learn better in a little cartoon video. So, we're going to go ahead and start this. It's really short.
That's quite a fashion statement, Moby. Dear Tim and Moby, what's a protist? From Denise. Well, lucky for us, Moby's brought us a few examples. Protists are single or multi-celled organisms that live in moist or wet surroundings. They can be plant-like, animal-like, or fungus-like. All protists are eukaryotic, meaning their cells have a nucleus. Plant-like protists include the substance commonly known as algae. Algae have chlorophyll in their cells, which means they can manufacture their own food using light from the sun. These organisms have many cells and complement any fall wardrobe nicely. Other plant-like protists are single-celled. They propel themselves with tails called flagella and have an eye spot to detect light. Animal-like protists, like this here amoeba, are called protozoans. Protozoans are single-celled. They have special spaces called vacuoles for digesting food and getting rid of excess water. Because they don't make their own food, they must have a way to move to get it. There are 4 ways that protozoans move. Some use temporary extensions of their cytoplasm called pseudopods, meaning false foot. Others move using flagella. The most complex protozoans use cilia, which are little hairs that move it through the water. Some protozoans are parasites with no way of moving on their own. Instead, they live in and feed off of animals. Finally, we come to fungus-like protists. Slime molds live on the decaying remains of plants and animals. Pretty. Water molds and downy mildews also live on dead stuff, but some forms grow on living plants and animals, slowly devouring them. Hey, thanks for helping me explain protists, Moby. Well, I wouldn't go so far as to say that you were fabulous. You're not a supermodel.
All right, now you're gonna watch this last video. It's just still reviewing what the Protista Kingdom is about because it's just a weird kingdom. That's why I only wanted to do this one today because it's weird. So here you go.
Protista is a very interesting kingdom of life. You may have heard that Kingdom Protista is like the junk drawer in your house. You know, the drawer that has a little bit of everything in it. Let me help explain why. Here's a chart of all the different types of eukaryotic groups of organisms. I've circled all the groups that would not belong in Kingdom Protista. What is left over is a fascinating and very diverse group of organisms. You have water mold, diatoms, kelp, amoeba, and many more organisms. If you have a eukaryotic organism and it is not a plant, animal, or fungi, then it is a protist. All protists have the following common characteristics. They are eukaryotic, which means they have a nucleus. They do not contain tissue, and they're located in a moist area. This kingdom is so diverse that protists are found everywhere on Earth, and scientists have subgrouped it into protists that are plant-like, such as algae, animal-like, such as paramecium, and fungi-like, like this slime mold. I'd like to review two characteristics to help you get an understanding of the diversity of this kingdom. First, let's look at movement. Some protists move using tiny hairs called cilia. For example, paramecium move this way. Other protists move by oozing along. They move using a pseudopod or false foot. For example, an amoeba moves this way. Euglena are protists that move using a flagellum. And then some protists don't move at all. And diatoms just kind of float along. Secondly, let's look at reproduction. Some protists reproduce asexually. Amoeba, algae, and many other protists use binary fission to reproduce. Slime molds reproduce using spores, which is a type of asexual reproduction. Others reproduce by budding. Take a look at this protist. It reproduces by budding. Other protists reproduce sexually. Paramecium reproduce using conjugation. And then some protists reproduce both sexually and asexually. Paramecium is an example. In summary, if you have an organism with a nucleus that is not a plant, animal, or fungi, then you have a protist. Thanks for watching, and Moo Moo Math uploads.
Okay, so now that we're done with this video, you just need to go back to my to-do on my agenda for today and see what to do next.